Yo, welcome to Bringing the Business podcast. And I got a special guest in the house today. As you'll see where I am, I'm in Julian High School, Percy L. Julian High School on today. And I have one of Julian's finest on the teacher side. So, Ms. Jenkins, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Cook?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Welcome to the podcast, and thank you for being a guest on today.
Thank you for having me.
So I just want to start off. Where you from? Give us a little background on yourself.
So I'm from Indiana for real, but when I got to high school, I ended up coming to the South Side of Chicago. So I'm a graduate from George Washington High School for CPS, and then
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. I'm a CPS alumni as well, so
nice.
like that. So growing up, were you involved in sports and stuff? Because you guys know she is a physical education teacher, very active around here.
For sure.
Which we'll get into that. So were you involved in sports coming up?
Oh, 100%. So I have three older brothers. So they all did track, football, basketball. So, I follow suit as the only girl and the youngest, from going to practice with them to eventually playing myself. So I played a lot of basketball growing up. And then when I switched over to high school for CPS, crazy story, I ended up being ineligible for the season my sophomore year of high school for basketball, transferring over. So I ended up playing soccer and ended up getting me a full ride. So I've been an athlete basically all my life.
Okay, so yeah, we going in a minute we're gonna get to that full ride and where you went and everything like that.
For
Well,
sure.
matter of fact, no, let's get into that now. So you got a full ride for soccer?
Yeah, so I played it, like I said earlier, I played at Washington High School. My first year as a sophomore, I ended up scoring on some of like elite girls that went to like Whitney Young, Lane Tech, Lamont High School. We ended up going to City. My first year there, literally a rookie, never knew anything about soccer, but I was quick, I was fast, and I was a quick learner as well. So yeah, ended up getting picked up my junior year of high school. Had a lot of people calling me, coming to see the games. Made it to City a few times. I ended up taking my full ride at Robert Morris University, which is now Roosevelt University downtown. And then, I got my bachelor's degree there and then transferred over to DePaul where I got my master's in physical education. I just kind of stayed throughout. So associates in fitness and exercise, bachelor's in recreational gameplay facilities management. And then I moved up to a master's in physical education.
Okay, okay. So how long you been a physical education teacher?
This will be year 10 for me. So my
Ooh,
second
who's
year
that?
with CPS as a teacher, and then my 10th year teaching.
Okay.
So
So all of your years were they right now you in the high school? Were all of your years in the high school or what?
no, so my first 7 years were with middle school. So I've been everywhere around CPS for real. So I went through the Park District. I was originally a physical instructor. So that's why I'm included in my teaching years because it really started there. So, after school programs, working with elderly all the way down to like kindergarten, 3 to 5 year olds, and all things gymnastics, soccer, basketball, floor hockey. Whatever you want to call it. I did some of every single sport, Zumba or yoga, so it started there. And then around the pandemic time is when I realized like, hey, I want to leave from this after school and go into the mornings. And that's when I switched to physical education in the morning, working as a teacher. So 10 years total, but I would say maybe 3 years just teaching in a teaching setting for CPS. But, it
So
all
you
makes sense.
so you did elementary school as well as high school. So
Yes.
can you tell me like what is your preference and tell me like what's the differences in the two? Like me,
Um,
I'm a brand new teacher. I'm still trying to decide which way I'm gonna go. So kind of give me
yeah.
some pros and some cons or some differences and some similarities of both.
Similarly, there are students that need guidance. I would say that's the big thing. Like the young ones need help and the old ones need help, right? And the old ones not as old as they think they are, because once they graduate, they really old. They become a part of society. So I would say the similarities are they all need guidance, even when they don't want it. But I would say the differences are, if you go to the middle school route, I think that the rhetoric, the way that you talk is different. So you got to think like those kids that are eighth grade and under, they're just coming into, you got puberty, you got life changes, a lot of things are happening. So you have to kind of change your language when it comes down to them. But then And I mean, and it mean that in a sense, there's a lot of crying. You know, you got the babies from K to 5, do a lot of crying, a lot of changes, hair changes, skin changes, body changes, understanding changes, right? You would hope by the time that they get to high school, they're at a level, well, not super mature, but they get to a level where you can kind of talk to them on a level that'll help them grow as an individual, as a person, moving out into society as compared to middle school. You're just trying to get them to be a good student. Like, hey, I want you to understand why education is important. I want you to understand why we're doing these things and why are they important compared to high school. Hey, let's get ready for our career. You're about to be a part of society. So I would say that's the only difference is what level do you want to deal with at your level as a teacher, you know?
And from from my experience as far as being in school, learning about this from field practical, as well as these 16 weeks of student teaching, it seems that on the high school level is more sports involved, PE, when it comes to PE, and grammar school is more games and things
Right.
that. Do you see that being the case, or do you think that's the
I mean,
case?
yeah, and depending on your teaching level, you know, I would say if you're going by the shape standards, right? So like at the beginning of those shape standards from like year from K to 8, a lot of it is skill based, right? It's like learning skills to play games by the time you get to high school, right? And then by the time you get to high school, you're talking about strategy, you're talking about implementation, you're talking about lifelong exercise and why it's important, you know. The kids, you want to get them moving, but they need to have those skills, you know, motor development. We're talking about hand-eye coordination, hand-foot coordination, right? Properly walking, properly running. And then to kind of go back on what I said earlier, when they get to high school, you want to kind of get them to see how they can use it for the rest of their life, like a lifelong activity. So yeah, it's a difference for sure between more gameplay in high school compared to middle school, where you really want them to get skills, you know, catch, tag, throwing stuff in the air, you know, watching it fall down, how long it'll take you to reach out and grab it, or, you know, where is can you hit the person at the target? Right. By the time you get to high school, you got you a quarterback. You know, you got you a star running back or a forward in soccer, or a goalie in, you know, in hockey. So yeah, it really depends. But there's definitely a difference between high school play and middle school play.
And I've noticed that with you, you know, being here doing my student teaching, I've noticed you try to encourage the students to and try to get them to understand that them being active now helps them be active as adults, and that's pretty much like the purpose or the reason for a physical education class, to get them to kind of understand that. Can you speak on that real quick?
100%. I mean, you know, I don't know too many people in their 60s and 70s like, oh, I wish I would have took another math test. A lot of them wish they would have been more active younger so they can have those older years in a more stable and healthy condition, you know. So I try to really encourage them like, hey, the routines that you do now, right? PE, physical education, health is not it's not a punishment. It should be a part of your daily life. It shouldn't be a negative connotation to it. Like, you need this. You need to be able to get moving and keep your your heart pumping and your blood moving, right? You need that circulation. You want your hair to grow good, you need to keep your hair be moving. You need to sweat. You need to move, right? You want to breathe better. You want to swim better. You want to play with your kids when you get older. If that's your future, right? If you want to get around and have an active and healthy life, it has to start now, and it can't be negative, or it's going to be even harder as you get older to really want to do that, right? It's going to be wait until you get that chart or get that test back from the doctor and say, hey, you need to eat better. You start now. By the time you get older, right, as a lifelong commitment, you'll already be in a position to where you'll be in a, you know, better than your peers or what the norm is, you know, and doing those type of things. So I really try to encourage them, like, start now, make it a good thing now, and it'll be a normal thing in the future.
And I know that you put your money where your mouth is, so to speak. Since
100%.
I've been here at the school, we have jump shooting contests.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I
you
hate to lose.
yeah,
You
you
know that.
active with the students,
I
and
hate to
like you say,
lose.
she hate to lose, y'all.
These
So
kids can't hold me. Okay, I'm still the best thing running up in Julie. These kids can't hold me for nothing.
she's
Not
very
one
active
thing.
with the students. She's, you know, very active with the sports and everything like that. So
Yeah.
situation where she puts her money, well, you know, money where her mouth is. So
I even tell them, look, they might beat me in a race, but I can run longer.
yeah,
You know, you may be faster, but I can do this for a longer time.
and you also swim, correct?
100%. Yes.
Yeah. So just in closing, I'm a new teacher. I'm getting ready
Hmm.
to start this journey. Just what advice do you have for me? And some of my classmates are gonna see this video as well. So what
Hmm.
advice do you have for us?
Try every level, right? Try every level. When I did my student teaching, when I was with DePaul University, I tried kindergarten. I worked my way. I tried every level. And then, you know what? Just have a level head on who you are as a person. And it's going to translate. The kids are going to mimic everything that you teach them, right? So as a professional, as long as you know you're passionate about what you want to do and whatever subject that it is, even if it's not PE, you know, math, reading, being a diverse learning teacher, special education teacher, as long as you're passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, you'll be just fine. And the kids, they will learn because they're sponges at every level from K to 12. They're sponges, and do your best, and it'll get through for sure.
So I want to thank you for joining the Bringing the Business podcast. Thank you for your jewels that you dropped on me and
Thank you.
on everybody. And just keep going. And, hey, you're at the Julian High School, Jaguar Pride.
Jaguar Pride. Nice working with you too, Mr. Cook.
All right. Thank you. All right. Peace.